Yo, Buffett, we are out here at the Empowerment Summit. It's a conference for men, and part of our mandate as the AMATYMA Wellness Network is to have conversations with various men who are single, married, divorced, or widowed. It's an unscripted show, a series of conversations where we talk about a man's journey. We strongly believe that every man has got a story to tell. And I'd like to welcome you, my brother, to the AMATYMA series. And for those that don't know who you are, because I don't like to introduce people, especially when it comes to titles, we need to respect that. For those of our fans and subscribers who are watching, who is sitting next to me right now?
You see, that's a very difficult one, because you either introduce yourself as Thembisa Fakude, NDODA Fakude, Ozala Unkum, Fakude, Ozala Utipoti, and that's how Africans used to introduce themselves.
Why did it stop?
It stopped because of individualism.
Right.
So we'll introduce ourselves. Okay, my name is Thembisa Fakude. Okay?
Right.
My father was Sobekako Fakude. Ozalwa Unkum Fakude. Now that was important because you are associated with power.
Yeah.
And whether you're a drunkard or a whatever,
Yes.
or a failure or a success,
Whatever label. Yeah.
but you are associated with power.
Right.
Because somewhere down the line, there's someone who's
Who was
powerful.
powerful. Yes.
Now that introduction is extremely important because it maintained this equality
Right.
amongst us. Now, if you want to introduce me the way Nina said is introduced on
Nina.
Nina youngsters
Okay.
and other who are individualistic.
Right.
Then I'll say, okay, my name is Thembisa, CEO of the Mail & Guardian,
Right.
Director of the Africa-Asia Dialogue,
Right.
and all those kind of things.
Yes.
But my current career or position at the moment, I'm the CEO of the Mail & Guardian newspaper,
Right.
which is a print publication based in South Africa. I'm also a director of the Africa-Asia Dialogues, which is a think tank mainly dealing with trying to make people understand the geopolitical complications
Yes, that affect the world.
between the Middle East and Africa. So that's why.
So I love the fact that you introduced yourself the way you did initially.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. When you sit here with me, you're not sitting here in your position as CEO
Sure.
of the Mail & Guardian. You are sitting here as a man, you are sitting here as a father, you're sitting here as a brother, and as an uncle. And that's the capacity that I'm here and more interested in. Because what we found is that a lot of men, when you start talking about their positions, the ego obviously comes into play. And we as a network really want to encourage a lot of men to understand their position as human beings first, outside anything else. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Zondi Township.
Zondi?
Yeah, Zondi number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this Zondi. But I know what's about Zondi.
Okay, you need to be there.
You
need to go there even today.
Okay,
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, I was born in Zondi,
Right.
Zondi number 2. And then I grew up in Pimville,
Yeah.
zone number
No
5
ways.
and zone number 7. Yes.
Zone 5, zone 7.
Zone 7 is like no, zone 7. So she's and I insist on including Zondi because Mao yesterday to Pimville, I want to think because Pimville looks like this.
Yeah, all Pimville looks like this.
Yeah, but I grew up in Zondi.
Right.
So my lower primary and a higher primary school and higher primary school, by the way, they say Zondi na Semfulo.
Okay.
So kabo
Okay.
all it lam.
Yeah.
Zondi.
Zondi.
Kabo tamalam school Paul Mfulo.
Okay. So
Edladin.
Yeah.
Sepimville.
Okay, I see.
But in Kule, no gogo.
Zone 5.
Because batesha.
Okay, but
No,
you said zone 5 and zone
Zondi.
7. Okay.
So ngikhulele Zondi because abazali
You
bebespan.
were span and then wasala no gogo.
But weekends benyedladleni ezone 5 until I was about 14. Then I started to go as a Pimville full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So masing high school. No bengifunda Mfulo, but I was now staying in the old lady in the time as a Pimville.
Sure. So your story is actually quite inspiring because it just shows the infinite possibilities of being great. Guti, there's this misconception, Guti, you don't deserve success because we are from a disadvantaged background. Here you are, I'll call you a Kasi dreamer, who's realized his dream of being a CEO of such a big publication, right? What do you have to say to a young boy out there who is just hopeless? Everything around him seems bleak. He's just watching his life basically unfold, hopelessly so. What do you want to say to that boy? Because as you can imagine, there's a lot of boys out there that don't have enough role models. Like we did. We had a point of reference. What do you want to say to that boy out there who's sitting and going,
Sure. Well, first of all, I have to say this because I'm trying to inspire people, right?
Correct.
Now, before I became the CEO of the Mail and Guardian, I was the Bureau Chief of Al Jazeera Media Network.
Bureau Chief?
Yeah. In other words, I was in charge of all the offices of Al Jazeera in Southern Africa.
Amazing.
For both Arabic and English.
Sure.
And I was also the chairperson of the Foreign Correspondents Association of Southern Africa. In other words, CNN, BBC, Sky, Al Jazeera, all of those journalists. I have to say this because it's important.
No, it's very important, and I'm glad you're saying this, and I'm glad you're articulating.
With Milton Nkosi, who's now Milton was the BBC Bureau Chief, I was the Al Jazeera Bureau Chief.
Sure.
So both of us coming from the township, we were running the international news organization.
What is for someone who doesn't understand? Can you compare it to something? What is a bureau chief? Is like a CEO?
Bureau chief is like the director general.
Right.
Last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have producers, anchors,
sure.
cameramen, all reporting to a, eventually to the bureau chief.
Yeah.
So a bureau chief is a person, is basically a chief editor of news.
Sure.
Television is different to print.
Correct.
So most people move from print to television. I mean, I've moved from television to print. Which is So that's now what the advice I'll give to the youngsters. Everything you do in life matters.
Everything you do in life matters. Yeah. I love that.
Just do it proper. And you must have a vision, of course, bigger picture that's supposed to direct you from where you're going.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. Contacts, knowing people,
the
networks. But you see, I'll tell you something. If I couldn't share the cards, you can't succeed.
Oh, I like that. Because that's the ultimate test of Nesbindi, and can you follow through?
100%. If you cannot convince a woman,
who else can you convince?
Love you.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to be sexist, but if you can't say to a woman, love me, through words, without any associations.
Yeah.
The way I am. If you can do that, that's why I was telling the guys now about this co-ed schooling.
Yeah.
It was important because it taught you how to understand.
And to mix.
Understand it. So, but everything you do matters. Don't underestimate. Whatever you do. Just stay the course and read as much as you can.
Yeah.
Have some religion of some sort.
Absolutely. And I think reading is something that we as black people don't necessarily enjoy.
Yeah. And keep your face pretty. Your face is your first passport.
It is.
People see you. They don't see your qualifications.
Before you even utter anything,
before you say hello,
they see what they see.
You go to any interview, they look at your face. Your face, you must sleep on time, eat well, drink water.
Look after yourself.
It's
wellness after all, right? That's what we represent.
Sure.
Is your father still alive?
Gone.
He passed
2002.
on. How old were you when he passed on?
When he passed on, I was 31.
31. So you were a fully fledged adult.
Yeah.
And how was the relationship with your dad?
It was really okay. I mean, time as a class, when you're growing up, it was not as liberal as it is now with youngsters.
Yeah, you couldn't even have conversations with your dad. Yeah. So and you knew but would you have conversations with your dad growing up?
Yeah, but not politics, yes.
Only politics, but nothing personal. If you went through anxiety or depression as a young boy, who would you talk to?
Luckily, my family was very religious.
Right.
So I had a lot of support.
Okay. Church, Marcel group.
And I was also a leader from a young age.
Yeah.
Student representative council, all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So you always have all of this.
Sure. Are you a father yourself?
3.
Yeah. Girls, boys?
1 boy, 2 girls.
What type of father are you?
I've got a granddaughter.
So madal.
I'm supposed to write to.
So madal, manj. Congratulations. What type of father are you?
See, I wouldn't know. I think my kids will tell you, but I wouldn't know. But I'm very open though. Even though because of the work that I was doing, I've never spent
much time with them.
And here because I had to work overseas. But I like to believe that I raised strong girls, which now, by the way, could be a problem because I see that they're
too strong.
They're too strong.
Yeah.
So
is that an issue?
Yeah, I think it is.
Why?
Because I'm a MJITA, not empowered yet. So I look at my daughters, you can see they try to...
So you worried about the potential partner that they might attract, and they might be too strong for their partner because of your teachings. You've taught them to be assertive, to be independent, all those things.
Sure.
And that might be a challenge for them later on if they meet someone who's not equally matched.
That's the problem.
To their teachings.
And now my eldest is married.
Okay.
And I'm not saying there's a problem.
Yeah.
But you could see that there's that power balance.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And do you think that's an indictment on you in terms of exerting too much?
It has to be done.
It has to be done.
Luckily, I've got a very good son-in-law who understands.
Right.
And I think you don't have to be the most powerful one.
True. So, sometimes to submit is okay.
Yeah,
it's a power struggle anyway.
Totally.
So if there's anything that you'd like to say to Itamalako in his absence, I mean he's passed on, that you never had an opportunity to say when he was alive, what would that be, if anything?
I wish you would spend more time talking about general issues
instead of politics.
So I never had a chance to speak to him about. I'm self-taught on many things, and whether it was good or bad, I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm self-taught, I had a choice to choose.
Sure.
So if maybe I was taught by him, I would have been something else. By the way, that's very important.
I'm listening to you.
Itamalami was the first trailblazers, the guys. So those are the guys who started taxi business.
Yes, I'm a shop, in a supermarket.
The taxi business
in particular, which is a very difficult business.
And then he decided to drop the taxi business because he didn't want me to be a taxi driver.
Oh, wait. So he cut his business interest to keep you away from that, to protect you from that?
Correct.
And did he have a conversation with you about that?
No, I learned afterwards.
So he was protecting you?
Because he didn't want me to be... Because the trend was... But also your kids, sons, are also going
to end up inheriting it,
So he said, no more, I'm leaving this business.
Sure. Would you have gone into the taxi business though?
Obviously.
Automatically.
I would have automatically entered the business. But that is the challenge.
And tell me, your relationship with your son, how is that compared to the relationship you had with your dad?
No, it's totally...
completely different?
My son lives in Honduras. So, and I think I had an influence on him because he rides bikes, I ride bikes.
Right. Did he take that from you?
Yeah.
That interest?
I bought him. I bought him a bike.
So I'm a biker. You literally set the tone for him.
He rides, I ride.
Right.
He works and traveled overseas. I worked and lived for many years overseas. So so you could see that I think our intimate relationship kind of wrapped off.
Because those traits are there. Yeah. But now, how do you make sure that he doesn't go through what you went through in terms of being away from his family for such a long time because of work assignments and not kind of having that balance of saying, ish, I have to go do the work, but I also want to be present as a father and as a husband in the family. How do you make sure that he doesn't fall for that trap, if you want to call it that?
Well, luckily he found a woman there.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So he's getting married to a woman from Honduras. Which is good.
Yeah, which is good because everything is there. He doesn't have to have that long distance relationship.
The other thing which is very important, by the way, it might sound conservative. A man must go and work.
A man must go and work.
Commercial and monetization of your family.
Right.
A woman creates a home.
Right.
It's also work.
Right. And we must respect that position, by the way.
It has to be compensated.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And not undermined.
Right.
Now, I deliberately made a decision that my wife was going to sit and stay at home and create a home for my kids.
You made the decision on her behalf? On her behalf?
Before I got married.
Right.
We then sat down.
Okay.
And said, this is how it's going to happen. You are going to be the homemaker. I'm going to be out there.
But it was a conversation.
Okay. One.
Yeah.
Importantly, we have the same bank account. We've got something, I don't know whether I still have it now. We have something called the transmission account.
Right.
Now, same account, different names, but same access.
Right.
So, what I get as a salary, she knows exactly how much comes.
Because it's in that account.
I don't control it. She's got the same card that I do.
Right.
So, that's very important. To surrender your financial independence or success is to women. Of course,
no, of course.
But my salary in the main account, we share it.
Is controlled centrally.
She controls. She does whatever she wants to do.
I love that.
And once you do that, Very important, because we don't have problems.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
No.
Because everything's there.
She sees it.
Yeah.
So she can't blame you.
Sure.
So whenever she's got problems, she comes to me and say to her, am I a good father? She says, oh yeah, sure. Am I a good friend? Yeah, sure. Am I a good husband? Yeah, sure. So anything else, don't ask me questions.
I like that. I like that.
Now, that takes a certain type of mentality, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And you need to be, these are decisions that you make.
Sure.
Because you can raise citizens, but you can't raise human beings. You know, citizens are raised by kindergartens.
Yeah, of course. There's rules, there's procedures.
But human beings are raised by mothers.
Absolutely.
You see, a citizen will be, a kindergarten will say, when you come to crash, wash your hands, whatever.
Yeah, there's a timetable.
A mother says, when you wake up, pray.
Yeah.
Make up your bed.
Yeah.
Go create
That's
a
motherhood.
sister. But what does it do? Create a human being.
Yeah.
Now we have to be very careful.
Sure.
Because institutions create citizens, but mothers create human beings.
Sure.
Who will then become.
That's
something
so powerful.
that you can't have a discussion
No,
about.
you can't.
It's
Yeah.
something that you need to understand.
Yeah.
So we are quick in sending our partners out there to go and fend for themselves.
Right.
Because we think you can't quantify a contribution.
You can't. You can't.
But you can quantify my, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. Because there's a measure. There's so much.
But the quantification of it is what?
Yeah.
Quantification is the ability for her to create a family and a home.
Yeah. So when you get back home, there's harmony. There's that feeling with I'm home. And that's priceless, by the way.
Priceless. And you avoid problems. Because I'm telling you, you avoid a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Because sometimes similar environments through which both you and your partner operate create problems.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Especially when unspoken. Yeah.
Achak was handsome yesterday.
Yeah.
Separating. Separate
because those things fade away with time.
Separate spaces, Mama.
Yeah.
You know, but now you can't teach the youngsters a lot about how to navigate this thing called life because of all the isms that have since crept in.
Correct.
In our everyday life.
And they are absorbed everywhere.
Yeah. And you know, I have a chance of traveling. I've been to over 80 countries, not because I have money, but because of my
job.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I meet communities that have not changed.
They're still the same.
You go to their weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
That's where the trappings of culture reside.
They do.
You
and they show themselves up.
They still follow.
Same.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Or what are we not doing?
What are we not doing?
Yeah.
We're confused and we're trying to modify this and other. There, no, there's no change.
Yeah. Gunje.
And that's where they learn how to cook the favorite grandma's chicken.
Yeah, the recipe has been carried on.
The songs of the family.
Sure.
Now we are not doing that.
Sure.
And we've got very weak leadership.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Our leadership is not. There's not depth.
Yeah. It's not bold anymore.
Because they've kind of separated the whole, which is supposed to be what a bastion of culture.
Sure.
Now, Tina, we had Ekasi, there was a triangle.
Yeah.
Which was God.
Yeah.
And education.
Yeah.
Now you put that together.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Because you understand the importance of.
Sure.
And then you understand the importance. Okay, at some point, if diplomacy fails, you have to resort to bribery, not innovative commerce.
Correct.
So in other words,
correct.
you must have cash.
Yeah.
You must have skill to negotiate.
Sure.
And speak your way out.
Yeah.
Importantly, you must have the ability to inflict fear.
Because fear is something that we can't get used to.
But you must have the ability
to inflict it.
Yeah. So that they must know, okay, if I've had a chat with you to stop your shenanigans.
Yeah.
If I've tried to give you money.
Yeah, there's been interventions.
To stop your shenanigans.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to threaten.
Last resort.
That's why even governments have got finance, international relations, and defense.
Sure.
Because these things are key.
They instill fear.
Now, you must bring those down to your own personal life.
Right, and your family unit.
Have it.
It works.
It works. At some point, you need to. They need to know that if I continue with this guy might
there's repercussions.
There are repercussions.
My brother.
If you don't, it's a problem.
Listen, I could sit here the whole day and have a chat with you, and I definitely would like to have you back on the series, because it is that kind of conversation that is always ongoing. I mean, I still think there's so much to unpack and we'd love to invite you again soon. And especially from a male and garden point of view, would like to have conversations with you guys about financial wellness of men. You know, these are conversations that men never really want to have when it comes to money, because the ego then obviously clouds a lot of the judgment when it comes to inyugu.
I'm glad you raised it.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention this.
Yeah.
Liquidity.
Yeah.
I'm not saying be rich.
Yes. But be liquid.
You have to be liquid.
Be fluid, man.
You gotta be liquid.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you know, you look at me, for example. I mean, I've been selling all my life. Even
Right.
now.
Now,
now I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
I've got 40 feet container full of tin openers. You know, those old tin openers.
Right. Yes.
I buy and sell.
Sure. Who would have thought?
I buy and sell because I'm a million come loan.
Yeah.
But you need in Uganda 10
to
20.
keep you going.
Now, MJITA don't understand
that concept.
Liquidity.
It's everything.
You have to be liquid. But
sure.
you cannot be liquid if you're going to be waiting for a tender.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying don't.
Yeah, but what happens whilst you're waiting?
Well, what happens while you're waiting?
Yeah.
Who blind?
And these are conversations that we would want to engage with you at a later stage to have those financial wellness seminars specific, because as a movement we focus on 3 pillars of wellness: physical wellness, so looking after your body, yourself, what you eat, nutrition; mental wellness, obviously depression, anxiety; and financial wellness. Mr. Fakude, thank you so much for your time, my brother. Another great episode of AMATYMA series brought to you by FATHERHOOD Radio. Sibonge. Sithi danko.